Hey, welcome everybody. We are here with Urs and Grandy, some two great community members here who are building great tools for esports broadcast. Grandy and Urs, how y'all doing? Let's start with Urs.
Hey, I'm doing all right. Just hanging out, hoping my software doesn't crash live on stream. That'd be
yeah, you and me both.
live demo, folks.
Yeah, I think it would be, if it doesn't crash on stream, the feedback will be we need to crash it on stream for next time. So,
Oh no,
it shows that you're human. You know,
I'll send you a special build that will crash on my command.
All right,
at a specific point.
I like that. Yeah, there should be a because I think every esports broadcast requires some kind of major fire. So you can have like a fire button where it creates some kind of bug, a random bug, and you have to debug it. I mean, it breaks
deleted your C
something.
drive.
It'd be good training. Like,
Oh, that would be an interesting tool to like just have common issues that might happen, like namely Windows settings that change on you, and then they don't tell you. But anyways, Grandy, you're joining us. I know it's a little bit late your time, so thanks for staying up.
yeah, no worries. It's all right. It's only 9 p.m. here. I can manage.
When do you usually go to bed? Maybe that's the real question.
Goodness, these days it's about 11 midnight, I think, on a weekday anyway, or leading into.
Gotcha.
It's how it is.
That's not bad. I mean, that's respectable. You said 11. It's like,
Yeah.
those are barely gamer hours. All right, cool. Well, let's go ahead and start and kick it off. I know we're getting started a little bit, tiny bit late here. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. So the topic today, and partly why I wanted to have y'all on here is if you think about where is the future of esports going to be, we all generally have the same ideas where there's events that are happening locally, whether it's conventions or even just straight up gaming events, to where there's a competition that's happening. You can enter, and you can enter with a team, and then you battle away to the top of the bracket and maybe play against some pros, right? Like where it's just everywhere. Right? Your high schools are doing them. Your universities have teams. Those universities are sponsored, right? It's just everywhere, and even local companies can be part of that as well. So I think on the path to getting there, one thing I really want to focus on for Broadcast.gg and the community here is to make sure that for the folks that are contributing tools and resources that will lead into and can assist and make sure that we stay on that path to get into where esports is everywhere. It requires it to be easy to run, and I think that's the motivation behind us releasing the tool and then open sourcing it, and then seeing the work that both of you have put into creating these certain tools that people can use for broadcast. That's something that oops, I realized I have the music going still. Hopefully it wasn't too loud. Yeah, what I want to do, and starting with this, is make sure that the folks that are doing contributions and building things are getting visibility, and that these tools get the feedback they need, and possibly help on the tool if that's something that you both are looking for, or at the very least feedback. So I really want to make sure that, especially with like the amount of time that I have right now that I can devote to this community, is to make sure that I'm connecting the dots and bringing things together. Because I've been getting a lot of feedback from people that they've watched like a bunch of the old videos that we used to do, or even just some of the old guides that had happened and where that was useful. And in my head, I'm thinking like, yo, we did those like years ago, like 3 years ago. And if that's still what we're referencing, then that's, there's much more recent things, and including the work that you're doing on these tools. So that's what this is all about. So I think we'll be seeing more. I want to do more regular streams, alongside the typical VOD reviews of stuff like this. So that being said, another part that's going to be super important for me is to, let's just say it up front, in terms of these, or actually, yeah, let's start here instead. So Urs, you've been in the Discord for a good while now. Tell me a bit why did you make Clipmaster, and how did that start? And you were muted if you didn't know.
Yeah, I'm expert producer. Never accidentally have my mic muted. So Clipmaster actually started as a feature in another tool that I built called Scoreman, which is basically just a very simple kind of input-output overlay tool that lets you put in like team names, logos, stuff like that, and then load them into OBS very easily. And while I was working on that, I had the idea that it would be pretty easy to capture clips produced by OBS and then feed them back into OBS to make a very streamlined instant replay workflow. And so I added a very simple version of that to Scoreman, and then I was like, wow, that's works really well. And honestly, this is more interesting than Scoreman, so I'm just gonna build this into a fully fledged tool. And that's kind of how it started.
Nice. Yeah, I remember it started pretty simple. It was like you had maybe one or two functions at first, and then you started adding on like more and more and more. And now we have this screenshot where it's like, yo, is this a vmix? Like, hold on 1 second, I have to like pause.
Yeah, at one point I put together an image that showed builds 1, 3, and 5, and it basically looked like a Pokemon evolution tree.
Yeah, as
just in terms, because yeah, the first version was a very simple tool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that makes sense, and I think a lot of things start that way. It's just kind of, I want to build this, and then it's like, oh, okay, I can add this. Oh, I can add this. Oh, I can add this. And so, had you built anything like this before?
Well, aside from, I've built like small little tools for my own streams. Like I think the first tool, I mean, aside from just like loading text files into OBS, I built a tool that reads timestamps from scene changes and then feeds those into FFmpeg to automatically cut up all the VODs after a broadcast. And that was fun. That was my first time really using FFmpeg and like trying to script it. But Clipmaster is definitely the most advanced tool that I've made.
Very cool. Yeah, I think it makes sense that there's other dabblings, but this one is quite what is Europe the Clipmaster build 10 now, so that definitely makes sense. Dope. So Grandy, I think you joined the Discord at the end of last year, middle of last year. I forget exactly when, but regardless,
I think I've been lurking for a while before that. But yeah, started becoming visible later on in the year for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I can go back in the logs and I'll edit your enter date so it fits my narrative. So you built this SheetsIO, and this is a really interesting product where I know I know at least a couple solutions where you can use Google Sheets and have Google Sheets reference things, but this one in particular is interesting because I don't know, it's like they're usually associated. I know like vmix is able to integrate directly with a Google Sheet, but now we're bringing this functionality to OBS, which is free, obviously. So tell me a bit how'd you get started, in like when did this idea start / what were talk me through some of those first steps that you had of actually going and making this happen.
Sure. So the main idea behind it came from a few different experiences, one of which was both Epic LAN, which is a LAN based in England, UK. I went to see and saw some of the production on the back end for that, which was again vmix, but seeing spreadsheets used there, and also on an esports truck actually that came up to Scotland as part of an event up here in Scotland, and it was a very well kitted out truck, and they also used spreadsheets as the back end for most of their data. And I thought, this is tens of thousands of pounds of equipment, and they're using spreadsheets, which kind of blew my mind at the time. But that was like 2 years ago now. So since then, I was thinking, well, there's various programs. There's, for example, Scoreman. There's a number of smaller programs that also do similar things for overlays. But those were always local. And I always found that I wanted an extra field or just an extra item somewhere in there. And so when I began thinking about that and thinking about spreadsheets, there was no real reason in mind why we couldn't just pull down spreadsheet data into text files and read those into OBS.
Mm.
And so last August, that's when I actually started putting it all together, just for my own local use, pretty much.
Nice. Yeah, it's I think it's so important, and I know for myself, the spot where I jumped into esports was definitely inspired by, like, I had seen a lot of things online, but I think it's hard to know, or it was especially hard to know in a couple of years ago, where do you even get started, and how do you actually get involved in a project, and then having something that's local to you that you can attend, where you can see some of the behind the scenes, and maybe even talk to the people who work on it, I think is the best place to have that inspiration and know that it's accessible, because it's like, they're running this show on one computer or two computers, or you can see whatever setup they have if you're at a convention, and they're just like having gameplay streamed from the booth. I think it's you won't think about it unless you see it, but streaming's a lot more prevalent now, obviously.
Sure.
So before we dive into the demos here, I think it'd be interesting to hear for both of you, what has been, and Ners, let's start with you. What has surprised you about the response to what you've made, and just talk me through like that, the delta between maybe you making something and putting it out there, and then the feedback or that you receive, because obviously we can see from chat, people are already using these both of these tools and enjoying them.
Yeah, so when I first put out Clipmaster, like my initial idea was just, this is a cool idea. I want to split this off from Scoreman, just get it out there, and then go back to working on Scoreman. And so I published, I think it was November 2019 when I put the first build out, and about 3 months went by that just didn't hear anything from anyone, not a word. And so I assumed nobody saw it, nobody was using it, whatever. Went back to work on Scoreman. And then somebody PM'd me and was like, hey, I have this, it's somebody from the Broadcast.gg Discord. Hey, I've got this insane OBS setup and I'm trying to incorporate Clipmaster into it, and it's pretty good, but if you add features X, Y, and Z, it would make it a lot easier. And honestly, just getting that validation of having, well, not only having somebody actually using it, but also this person who had, we had a really long conversation where he kind of went step by step on all the things that he would like to see improved. And his OBS setup was the most complex, insane thing I'd ever seen. It's one of those OBS setups where you have a copy of OBS on a separate PC being fed into the first one a delay, so that he can manually take take the replays seconds after they happen.
Wow.
Nice.
So it was kind of like, I can be ready for this replay because I'm having it on delay, and I can know to start it. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so like he'll see it happen on one PC, and then he can go to the other PC and capture it.
Gotcha. Or
to like delete the overlay or whatever make whatever changes he wants to do.
I see. Wow.
Yeah, and then so based on that feedback, like there are a lot of features I added, and I think that's what kind of started increasing the popularity, because it became a more, I don't want to say impressive looking tool, but like that first version was very basic. So once it had some of these other necessary features, then more people started getting interested, started using it, and I started getting feedback more regularly. And that's been very helpful, because like the thing about broadcasting, especially amateur well, I don't want to call people but people who are,
I think people
not
don't take offense to that. Yeah, they'll know if you're an amateur broadcast, yeah. And that's still me right now, so that's fine.
But a lot of people, they build their production setups in very different ways. So there are a lot of like weird corner cases or specific features or functionality that just never would occur to me. And so like getting that feedback of people telling me exactly what they need is extremely helpful in improving the software. So definitely, like if you use Clipmaster and there's some like little thing that's bugging you, like, oh, if you just change this, it would fit so much better in my specific production workflow. I love to hear feedback like that. So please do reach out to me.
Yeah, and I think we definitely encourage, I think we obviously have a lot of the regulars here in chat, who I know, I think some of which give feedback. Definitely let me know, and maybe I can ask somebody like both of you too, what you think would be a good next step here, because what one thing I'm going to start changing about the site, the Broadcast.gg site, is I need to finish up a bunch of stuff on the wiki and then kind of unify to where like when do we have like the site itself versus pushing to the wiki. And I do want to have a lot more activity on the wiki to where people can contribute to that too. So at the very least, where it's either me or where both of you are able to maintain some kind of page, or as I know you have, like when you go to this website, you maintain a lot of this. So it would just be like pointing to this site probably. But if there's a place, maybe it makes sense to have a channel where we talk about this, or maybe even just in BGG tools, we can just have people centralize the discussion around like when people need help with community tools there. Because I want to like not only with these projects, but I don't know what else is out there, like to bring them all together and kind of show where they would fit in a broadcast workflow to see where there's community stuff, and especially if the tool is maintained and being worked on like both of you are. So yeah, I don't know if that sparks any initial ideas.
Yeah, I mean, there is a wiki tab right in front of you on my one.
Yep.
That I'd like to try and keep up to date. I'm a great advocate for those.
For sure.
Basically, anything that can be done with it or could be done with it, I'd love to put that into some central place. The idea is to get it into people's hands and get people using it and integrating it how they want to integrate it, however that might be. So, yeah, that sounds reasonable to me.
Cool. And Granny, let's go to you, and then we'll jump into the demos.
Sure.
That delta between when you released it and maybe expectations that you had prior to releasing it versus the feedback that you did get. Talk me through some of that.
Yeah. So when I knew from what I was doing broadcast-wise, what I needed the basics of it to do, I knew I wanted it to do text. I knew I wanted it to do images. I didn't really think too far beyond that initially. I mean, as you can see from the screenshot, pretty much visible on your screen already. Like it's a very simple tool. There's really not much to it. So back in August when I first released it, it was very much just a file browser and an update button, and that was it. The main problem has, I think, been actually making it more user-friendly, which is why it's slightly more complex now than it was in terms of the UI bit. But it's been really useful to have a few guys, especially more recently, Guitargo and a few others, going through and actually seeing how it would integrate with things I'd never even heard of before, like Lioran board, is it? Some OBS connector of some kind, and a few other things. So hearing about those and figuring out ways to accommodate some extra bits like that is probably the best part of it.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been really cool to see that interaction, where people are giving direct feedback or just asking you how to use it, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Awesome. So let's jump into it. I think I see my chat overlay. I need to fix this scene. This whole thing. Okay, let's just move it on top. Okay. Anyways, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with SheetsIO. So what I want to do for the stream here is we'll walk through the installation. I have I've not installed either of these, and I'm going to not make any excuses for why I haven't. But we'll at least take this opportunity as somebody who is legitimately fresh to the tools to installing it and using them. So cool. Let's get started. Grandy, what do I do? Tell me what to do.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. So yeah, under the releases tab on the right hand side,
look
you've
at
got
that.
version 0.7 there.
It says releases v0.7. Okay, cool. I'm here now.
That was released a few days ago. If you go down to the bottom,
All right.
you've got v0.7 release, yeah, and that will contain an exe file, a jar file. Yeah, it doesn't like exes and things. But,
What do you know, Chrome?
Exactly. Yeah,
Let
if you
me
want to just
download
extract that somewhere.
Yep. Open when done.
And we'll find out if you've got Java installed or not.
I do not. For sure.
Okay, so just extract that to some random folder.
True.
Okay.
I like how my sidebar is
try running the
completely
exe.
gone. All right, let's see.
I imagine it will complain.
More info. Run anyway.
Hey, there we go.
All right.
All right, so we need to get you to the Java download page, which I believe is fairly easily Googleable.
Java download.
Amazing.
Download for
Wow,
Linux.
it comes up with
that's
the Linux first.
That's interesting. Why that?
Oh, it's just the
Can you guys hear the
generic page
helicopter
anyway.
outside my window?
When you speak, yeah.
Oh wait, okay. So I'm like, wait, the big red button. Is this the one that we
The big red button, yeah.
want? Okay, this is the
Yep.
legit one. Sometimes the big red button is the
Yeah,
the ad. In fact,
very true.
that leads you to not nice things. Let's do it. All right, Friday from chat. I feel like SheetsIO is in the first step towards the right direction. In the very near future, there should be a product utilizing Node.cg and have WordPress-like drag and drop builder to add custom fields for web-based control panel. Well, that's definitely what we want to build for the work in the BGG tool. We're trying to adapt Node.cg so that it has a more friendly installation process, and where Node.cg is packaged up, right? So like wrap, make it a lot more usable. That's definitely one of the ideas that we have here, or I should say for the Broadcast.gg tool.
Node.cg is cool for sure. I've used it once or twice before.
Yeah, they've also okay, so I need to download this, I think. So they have recently started doing a lot more updates to Node.cg. Wait, did I already do this?
I think you already
I think I did. You know, sometimes I like to go on autopilot sometimes. I've noticed that if I don't devote enough brain power, okay, let's see here. Do we need to restart this now then?
It's possible.
Yeah. Let's see
but
here.
just in case, try running the batch file.
Oh, the batch file. Okay.
That's in that folder. Because if it does know where it is, then hopefully that will get around it.
I'm pressing any key.
Yeah, Java is not recognized.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, you will have to restart.
All right, that's fine. All right, then let me switch to another scene here. Grandy, I can switch to your screen share for a moment. If we want, let's maybe while I'm getting this installed, or
sure.
we can switch over to where you have the show. I'm on your page now. So Friday says, hit me up for a project to do web dev. Yeah, absolutely. I think part of the next things is kind of explaining a bit more what I want to do with the community, and then making obvious what the next things we need to work on are for the tool. Because we do have some progress that I want to get onto a repo so that we can have people contribute. Anyways, go for it, Grandy.
Yeah, so what would you like to see? I mean, I've got some spreadsheets from stuff I've made and others. If you'd like to see those.
Actually, so since I did that little response there, I'm actually back online here on my computer. So I was thinking that maybe what we should do is I was like, oh, we can take this time to show an example, but maybe the installation makes sense first. So let me get back here. All right, cool. So where did that extract?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, let's see here.
Would it be in downloads somewhere, maybe?
Yeah, I think it extracted to some user. For some reason, my sidebar isn't showing here. Let's do PC. That's it. Don't worry, nothing is being leaked here. Okay, I'll just re-extract it.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Oh wait, it wasn't the downloads. Your big brain. So do we start? We go with the exe one here?
Yeah, hopefully that then finds it in the Java path. That's not part of it.
Java's not been found on your computer. Interesting.
Yeah, it sometimes does this. So we're gonna have to add Java to your path, which sometimes in the installation, for some reason, it doesn't actually set an environment variable for it, which is super annoying.
When I install Java, should it have some kind of I wonder if I just run this again. Like, did I get all the way through it? I wonder.
Or whether there's another option somewhere in there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's just try this again here. Let's see.
Yeah, try the tick box in the lower left. See whether that gives you any other options. No, that isn't.
Already said
Another thing to try would be the batch file again, to see if that does it.
Sure.
It's weird how some systems are picking up straight away and some systems don't. But we wouldn't have a demo live without something like this, would
Exactly.
we?
So we're already getting our fires out of the way. They're the number one development platform, by the way. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's pretty cool. What an honor it is to have. So is there a way to, with the batch file, point to the
try running it straight off. If it recognizes how to run Java, then there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, who knows? So yeah,
cool.
This is the start of it. So what we're going to need to do is we need to go over to Google and get ourselves an API key. So if you just go to the README, I guess, on the
Let's do it.
On the repo.
Let's go here. Danger zone. No leaks.
No, all good. Yeah, and then scroll down, and you should get there. You go. Google API key a bit further up. It's the first thing in there. There we go.
Oops.
So yes.
I gotta sign in with something.
Yeah. So ever since the most recent Google API, I'm
gonna show your screen for a moment.
Everything has to go through the Google Developer Console, sadly, which means you need a Google account to be able to set up an API key. Previous versions would just allow you to just query straight to it without any authentication whatsoever, and to no surprise, they didn't like that. So they phased that out early last year, I think. Which is a shame because it means the extra step in having to do Sheets stuff. But yeah, in fact, I can scroll down to this bit. There we go.
Getting logged in, so I'm going to create a.
Yeah, you create a project. Yeah. So in the top left, there should be a select project drop down. Open it up and use new project.
I'll share it. I'll get back to sharing now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're in the mainframe. Okay, so I want to agree and continue.
Yeah.
Because I already have all my information, anyways. Cool. Yeah. So let's go ahead and side by side it.
That's a good idea.
So then, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's that. There's a few bullet points there.
Select a project, drop down.
Mm-hmm.
Create a new project.
Yep.
All right. Demo, please
don't what you call it.
Break.
Amen. Yeah.
Cool. We created this. This may take a moment. Navigate through credentials in the left side menu and click Create Credentials. So I click here on Credentials, right?
Yep. And then... Good. Yeah, that looks correct.
Choose API key.
Yeah, Create Credentials at the top. Yeah. There we go. So there is an API key for your use.
Whoa, look at that. Fancy.
Yeah, you'll have to delete that once we've done the stream or refresh it or something. Yeah, otherwise you could get in trouble, Google. If somebody grabs it, who knows? But yeah, so that's
we're gonna
your
go
API key.
After. But I think for the purpose of this, it's that way people can see it. Okay, cool. So now that I have this,
back to the tool.
Back to the tool indeed. Please provide an API key. Show.
So there it is in the box.
There's my API key, everybody. All right, I'm gonna hit save. Ah! What did I do wrong?
It's got information there on how you can enable it from the looks of things. I'll have to add that into the README, actually.
There you go.
That's something I think I did the first time round, but when I was writing the README later, I didn't have to go through all that.
Google Sheets API has not been used in project this before or is disabled. Enable it by visiting this thing, then retry. So I got to go to the project.
Yeah, I'm just doing it on my own screen as well.
Okay, so, okay. Looks like this key is unrestricted. Restriction helps. Okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead and. If I restrict the key, will that help here? Or let's see here.
Is there anything in that drop-down box when you do select that?
The drop down.
So restrict key.
Oh.
Yeah. Is there anything there?
There is not.
All right. So we'll need to, in the top bar for, if you back out of that actually.
Yep, sure.
Yeah. In the search bar at the top, I think you'll need to look up Google Sheets API. Not in the select project. I mean the other search bar in the middle top. It's like a search button.
Search. Oh yeah, this one. Okay.
Yeah, and look for Google Sheets API. There you go. And it might just need enable. There you go.
Enable. There we go.
This has proven useful. I'll add that to the README.
There we go.
So yeah, if you press OK on that error you got from SheetsIO, and then save again,
So we're good to go.
Thank goodness.
Look at that. We're green.
So the next bit is to create a config file, which is in JSON.
All right.
So you can see on the left there, that's a sample config. You can just copy everything in that block if you like.
Sure.
And open up a notepad or some other text editor you've got locally. Notepad will work though. Yeah, save it as somewhere where you'll remember it. And as all files, make sure it's a .json file.
Should be able to just do that, right?
Yeah. And change the save as type to all files. Yeah.
There we go.
Cool.
We're saving on desktop's a great place to keep the files, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, no problems. Ain't gonna get cluttered anytime soon.
Chat, that's cap, okay? That's called sarcasm. All right, cool.
Cool.
So that.
I would keep that open if I were you.
Sure.
Just because we're going to be making changes to it.
Sure.
This is the main place for setting up the link between what you've got on your spreadsheet and what gets downloaded. Open with, I guess.
Yeah, where's open with? Oh, there it is. It's right there. It's literally the top.
More apps. Notepad, yeah.
Cool.
There we go. So you've got a spreadsheet there, I notice. In your tab.
Yeah.
If you want to open that up. So, yeah, give it a name.
Okay.
And then from that URL, there is, after the /D, there is an ID. So you'll need to copy that up until, that bit. And then in the config, you can put that as a spreadsheet ID.
Oh, look at that. Boom. You've changed.
Give it a save. Yeah, so sheet 1 is that name. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Default sheet 1. My project is a default name. You can give it whatever name you like.
So this does not need to correspond to what's here, right? It's more about the spreadsheet ID, and you're designating the worksheet, right?
Yeah. So all project name is used for is when the files are downloaded, they're saved into /files /project name, and then within that folder. That's all it's used for. And it's used for the URL within browser sources if you happen to use those.
Nice.
But that can stay as is. Another thing you'll need to do is hit the share button in your Google spreadsheet and make sure that anyone with the link can view.
So I'm going to... Yeah, I think they keep changing this UI. But yeah,
it does.
Go to change.
It's really annoying.
It's fine. And then anyone with the link can view.
Viewer. That's correct, yeah. And that will mean that outside programs can look at it.
Cool.
Yeah, so for a start, let's just put a value in A1. Any old value. Great.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Now let's delete everything from the cells config apart from that first line and change cell to A1 and name to whatever you want to call the text file. Yeah, that bit. So this is what the name of the file will be on your local system.
Okay.
Give that a save, and then open it up using the file picker in
Yeah,
SheetsIO.
Don't worry. I'm only doing this to show that I'm saving and not because I'm a boomer. Okay. All right. And then, sorry, what do you say?
Yeah, open up the app and browse to it using the file picker, which I think you've already got open, and then press update now. No errors, jolly good. So if you go into your SheetsIO folder where you launched it from,
Which is in our download still.
yeah,
Just fine.
you should have a files folder. Yeah, new My Project, and a text file which should contain.
Is Grandy cool?
Drumroll.
Is Grandy cool? Ah, Grandy's cool.
Hey.
Beep, beep, beep. There we go.
Nice.
Good stuff. And so let's go ahead and extend it a bit here
Sure.
and create a second thing. I'm gonna now designate A2 for is patient.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. We'll save
He's sitting,
that.
He's chilling.
He's chilling. An update now. Let's go ahead and see this live update.
You'll have to reload the config first.
Oh.
So the reload config button.
Oh, I see. I see. So we have to reload the file here.
Yeah.
And then we will update now. I don't know if you all saw that, but the
Yeah,
folder
I saw
actually
it too.
closed
That's
out.
weird.
Which
Oh,
is...
it's because when the config's reloaded, it wipes and creates the files anew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
There we go.
You think so? Good.
Answers actually should be yes. Yes. PogChamp. Cool. Let's go and do that again. We'll reload the config. Everything will close here.
Well, the reload config is only needed if you change the config itself. If you update values in the spreadsheet, you don't need to do that. So it's like a setup once, and then from that point onwards, you should only need to update now.
I knew that. I just wanted to show. Wanted the topics to come up, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, PogChamp.
Very good.
Cool.
Okay, so some other things you can do. As a cell, maybe A3 would be good for this one.
Sure.
Pretty much the same config as before. But this time we're going to put an image in there. So copy that line. Yeah, new line. And after the name, which you'll want to change.
This one here?
Yeah, give that some different name.
Oh, image? Question mark?
That works.
Okay.
Okay, and then after the quotation, put another comma. And then in a similar fashion to name and then thing, you're going to put file extension in quotes.
This, like that?
One word with the F is lowercase, but the E is uppercase. So file extension, yeah. Okay. And then colon, and then we're going to put in quotations PNG. Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, they're wrapping. Yeah. There we go. And that's all you need to do. That will mean that it will look inside A2. You need to change that to A3. That's the next cell. Yeah. Okay. So that means it'll look in the cell value A3. If it's a URL, then it'll look at that URL, download the image, convert it to a PNG, and save it. So if you,
So we just go here.
Imgur is quite a good place to grab random images from.
Oh, sure.
IMGUR. Yep. This is where I generally upload some random. Oh look, random meme.
Oh my god,
that's cute.
Cute.
Yeah, copy image address. Yeah.
And now we're gonna throw this into here.
Yeah. Cool. And have you saved your config?
I've saved it here. Control S. And I'm going to reload the config because we just changed the JSON.
Yep.
Grandy.
Exactly.
Because every time you save this, you change this, you have to reload the config.
Yep. Which hopefully you won't have to do very often. But yeah. Okay, then press update now.
Okay.
And then check the file. Yeah.
Boop, boop, doo, doo, doo. Oh.
Yeah.
Image .png.
There you
Turtles.
go. You've got turtles. Turtles everywhere.
Turtles. There we go. Wait, was it?
So many turtles.
Oh, it is kind of like they took like a 3x2 and compressed it. Wait, or the tortoise looks kind of compressed to you, right? Like, or like shoved in, or is that just how it looks?
I can't tell actually.
Looks kind of, maybe not. Maybe I'm being thrown off by these neck rolls. All right. Anyways,
It might be like a...
could be.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe from here. Anyways, that's I think when I initially described that, I was like, that's pretty cool. This might be an interesting way for people to send files, or just like some URL.
Yeah.
Like upload your team logo to Imgur and send it to me there. And so it automatically downloaded it to locally.
Yep. It downloads it to a temporary place and then quick shifts it in so that OBS doesn't complain about file locks.
Now, there's also another question here from Sam. Is that can you use local paths for images too?
Yes. So if you had a file on your system, just in C drive, for example, you could put file : / in the spreadsheet.
So let's create an A4.
Sure.
So this should be local file. This is just what I'm going to call it, local file.
Yep.
And file extension.
Fine. Yep. Same as it was.
Oh, really? It's just.
Yep. The only
like
difference
this?
really is on the Google Sheets end. It's instead of giving it a HTTPS link, you give it a file link.
I see.
And it'll look up. So if you do file : / and then give it an absolute reference to a file in the system.
Here's something interesting. I mean, since it wipes it every time, could I guess this wouldn't be realistic for a demo, but yeah, maybe I'll find another image.
So if you
here.
if you go onto Imgur and download a different image, maybe.
Yeah, let me just move this.
Or one
picture.
of those. Yeah.
I'll just move this picture somewhere else as well. Files.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do file / where's the path for downloads anyways?
Good question.
So do I give the C drive as well?
All the way. Yep, it's the entire thing. Does this work with Excel functions? I think Google Sheets uses similar macro scripts to Excel. I'm not sure that they are interoperable, like changeable between the two. But yeah, it certainly works. I mean, anything you can put in the spreadsheet can eventually get into file system, basically.
This is
okay. Is that correct?
Yeah. So
is it a capital D? It might be a capital D. I don't know.
I'm actually curious if that case matters.
We'll see.
We'll just do it just because.
Yeah, let's go for that. Reload it.
So I'm going to save this. We're going to go back to our SheetsIO tool. We're going to reload the config. Things will go away. Or maybe not.
We're in a different folder.
Yeah, we're in a different folder. And oops, now we go update now.
Click the update.
And we're going into the release. We go to files, my project, and we have found a local file PNG.
Yep. So it copied it from the other place into here.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So
and it does the same for video files as well. So if you used a file extension MP4 or WebM, you could have local files on your system that correspond to those as well.
Does this file extension need to be here still? Because we're...
Yeah, it's still an image file. Otherwise, it would just take file : / and represent it as text in a text file.
I see.
The default's always text. Yeah.
So you need to designate its file extension.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's PNG and there's a bunch of file types for images. There's MP4 and WebM for copying videos. Although videos are slightly weird in OBS, it's better to use browser sources for those. Then there's a new HTML one which pulls in as a browser source. You can use a local web server that SheetsIO is running to pull in basically anything that you've pulled in through files. You can instead use a URL for, which is particularly useful for switching OBS Ninja links, for example. If you needed to quick switch those out, you could switch it live.
Yeah.
Or yeah, it's how we make the video files working, because OBS likes to lock video files super hard, which means that
Yeah.
the classic way of just switching files doesn't work for videos.
Okay, do I have a MP4 I could do that with? I wonder. That's here already.
Could press the record button on your OBS and record something there.
That's true.
Might work.
Wait, do I even have OBS running right now?
It don't look like
I
it.
think I haven't since the restart.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So we're gonna add display capture.
Yeah, it works. How new is this PC? Will it be in FLV? We'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be MKV there. We change that. Let's just keep that bit rate. We're gonna put it in our
Sure.
videos. Let's actually throw it right into downloads,
Yeah.
just because. 60,000 kilobits per second.
Resist. Couldn't resist.
All
Can't
right.
have any low quality video in my stream.
Exactly. Okay, cool. So let's go here. One thing I want to do, and we're gonna especially use this for Clipmaster later, is I got like the soft okay to show this, and we're just using it for examples purposes anyways. Dude, Box
Okay.
Beard's getting longer this way. All right, cool. So we have that. I'm gonna stop recording. Now, let's go back to the downloads page. We have the MP4, and so we're gonna call it Box Beard. Oops. Cool. And now we can go back to. I'll hide this so we don't stop getting that stuff. Okay, cool. So now we can go back into the config folder, and we're gonna add an A5.
Sure.
All right, cool. So walk me through this portion here.
So you want to give it a new name in the config?
Okay. So we will call it Video of Beard. Okay.
Video of Beard. And then file extension is MP4.
Cool. I'm saving this here. I'm going back to Sheets, reloading the config. And we need to give the location here. So
Yep.
did I put an underscore?
Oh, good
Box
question.
Beard, I did.
Beard.
.mp4.
Yep.
So I just copied that same file extension because we know it's in the downloads file. And that is updated. So now we can go here and hit update.
In theory.
Let's see if it works out. Downloads, SheetsIO release, files, my project, video of Beard.
There we go.
There's
Thank
the
goodness
beard.
for that.
There's the beard, right there. That's the right file.
Yep.
Cool.
It was only in the last release that I threw that in on the back of I think it was a feature request by Guitargo. He was
Nice.
testing actually.
Very
So
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I can totally see how where maybe in different parts of the show you keep a whole column, like you can just switch out, you can like copy paste it, right, and have those all kind of prepped up.
Well, I can show you some of that.
Yeah.
Because I've got a couple of examples prepared with slightly more complicated setups.
Now is it time for the Grandy share?
Sure.
There it is.
So here's what I prepared earlier.
Whoa. Ooh.
So take a moment to look at each column. And you'll get to see part of where you could go with this. This is kind of to the nth degree almost with it. With some macros in there. But yeah, so yellow is preview, green is program, and then blue is actually what SheetsIO will be pulling in. And so the idea is most of the time you only ever want to be changing preview and then shunting it across. So there's like data validation stuff to be able to move it across. Oh, I didn't actually keep the background. That's a shame. But yeah, so those then move into this get copied over to here, and you have these extras which correspond to these lookups in here. And so I've got these all mapped out, got players, so I've got their name and real name for some CSGO players. We've got a number of teams with their logos and drop downs for each of their players if you need to just sub people out and all that kind of thing. And I've also got stuff for maps as well, and map images, and some pick ban images, which you'll see in a moment. And yeah, so that all gets pulled in.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, this is just using the list of teams from the teams thing. It's a very simple setup. It's just data validation, list from a range, choose the range.
Mm.
And that'll populate that. That gets moved across here, which moves across here. That then pulls the logo using that.
Damn.
And then it uses that value to look up this row in this table and grabs column 3 to 8 in this example. And for each of those, it pulls them down here. And then it then looks up horizontally from that, using lookups as well.
Yeah, this makes you just really think that in terms of organizing information ahead of time, like you can actually have some what might be cool for us to do is we can have community folks help. They can share, like if they shared their presets, right? Like we can make generic versions of this to where
I plan to show this and release this afterwards. Yeah, I only made it today, so
yeah, no, this is awesome. I mean, I can totally see to where you have a sheet that's a default per title, right? You can have one that's like for Valorant, one that's for League, or potentially just having different tabs. There is some interesting thing there with because you integrating the spreadsheet logic of what you're doing where you have those lookups. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, there we go. So I've just pulled an update down. Yeah. So just with some, because there does end up being quite a few sources in this, obviously, because it's all just files pretty much.
Yep.
For now, at least. It means that using the move transition, you can get some fairly nice openings to things. Why isn't...
So this is my first time actually seeing the move transition be part of OBS. So this is is this something that is like integrated into OBS proper, or is this something that like a transition that somebody created and then it's just compatible with OBS?
It's a plugin.
It's a plugin, right?
And it becomes a type of transition which you can control some basic things of. It's just nice for moving sources in and out. So I've currently got it so disappearing items move away from the center. Appearing items come from the outside in whatever direction it was.
Yeah. You can see the curve. Oh, is the curve like a momentum thing? Yeah,
so you can do some interesting bezier curves with those kind of things, yeah. I'm actually just going to relaunch this because something doesn't look quite right, or I've messed something up recently. Let's see which is the case. And hopefully this will pull in. There we go.
And Urge, feel free to, if you have comments or things that, yeah, this is definitely want to invite your thoughts on this too. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool. No, this is great. I think there can certainly be. It makes me think for the legacy package, one that's purely like PNGs and whatnot, having it associated. Okay, so this is one interesting thing here. Of course, every time a sheet is created, or someone wants to create their own sheet, they're gonna need to do the API key access and whatnot. So, but other than that, that's probably the one thing. So you could distribute. We can have some kind of master copy that could be maintained, and where people suggest, changes and add things, and can maybe document it alongside as if it's like a make pull requests for it, right? then those can get approved, and then ultimately people can just yoink whatever the latest Valorant or Overwatch or League format for the sheets are.
Yeah, and you can just any spreadsheet that you can have access to, you can make a copy of. So that all comes with all the macros and everything you set up. So all these click buttons will be there and work.
Mm-hmm.
All these map bands or whatever, which populate various things, those will all work as you'd expect.
Mm-hmm.
So those are all definitely shareable things, including the configs. Originally the configs had the API key in them, but I moved that out, thankfully. So my config looks like this. Here it is.
Yeah. Nice. That's awesome.
For various things.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for showing that. I think there's definitely a lot of let's say in this way. So if people liked what they saw and then want to help out, well, what are ways that people can support your work or contribute to the project?
Biggest thing would be just playing around with it, testing it, finding out if there's any features that are missing from it that they would find useful. I'm always looking for new things to add to it. The issues tab in GitHub is the best place to put them. This is where I put them when people suggest things to me. So I've shoved some of them in there recently after the recent test rounds. So that's one major way. Another one would just be if you've got Java experience and want to actually do anything to the code itself, it's all available and downloadable. So pull it into Eclipse, which I've got here, and just run it through Maven, and it'll set up and run it through here. So
cool.
If you want to actually commit to the code, they can. It's all there and freely available.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, thanks, Grandy, for walking through that. I think a lot of ideas, and I think let's definitely bring the discussion to. I think we can probably keep it in tools and tech. I think that's a fair place to keep the discussion, but I'll be continuing to think about how do we want to structure and have a place for feedback on these certain things, or where places where people can suggest ideas. But I do want to check in pretty often to see how progress is going, and then for people to even share their ideas on how it works. So I'm picturing like building a homepage to where I'm either pulling from your updates and releases or your wikis to where I'm like directing it there, or if people have submitted like saying, hey, this is a project I did, like here's a broadcast I did, and if they want to share the sheet or show a screenshot of it to where they can show how they used SheetsIO for their broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And just a quick shout out here to Jitago for his one that he made. He was just sending me just for the broadcast today.
Nice.
And he's got a new one in the works from the look of it.
Oh my god. So those whole buttons there?
The drawings, yeah.
So interesting. Are those, do they have like macro functionality?
Yeah,
I've not
so
tried to make
like
macros within Google Sheets.
You can just either insert drawing or insert image, and for both of those, you can click on. This is easier to show on this one actually. There's a little double and assign a script, and that'll run a macro that you've recorded.
Wow.
So yeah, that's how those came about and how he's doing those nice little buttons and such.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, so that's a little demo that he made.
Yeah. So he's using a multi-game setup where he's running Valorant, COD, Overwatch.
Jeez.
So we've got Overwatch setup with game modes, maps.
This feels like a really good sweet spot because you don't have to be a coder. It's very easy to pick up. You don't have to be a coder to do it. And I think it'll allow for, I mean, obviously this UI to where it's like it can be refined in a Google Sheets format, and then if you really want to create a UI for it around this, it can totally work.
Yeah, it's bizarre that this can all be done through Sheets itself. Sheets is a very powerful tool, and people have been using Excel for a long time with macros in Excel to produce files.
Yep.
But it was just the fact that this could be remote and you could have a team looking at this and operating it if you wanted to.
Yep. For sure.
And for stats too, you could have a stats sheet on here that pulled into this main one, which did leaderboards or scoreboards and all that kind of thing. Brackets could be done through this.
And how many times too? I'm sure people have done broadcasts, especially at the amateur and semi-pro level, where teams don't get back to you right away on details, and it's like someone's like, "Oh, I found their image," or like someone just sent me their image. Like, what are you gonna do? Send the file over to the producer who is producing the live stream, and then have them download it and direct OBS to it, versus like, all right, they literally have access to the sheet and they can change a file path and direct it to Imgur, and then it'll like automatically update in the broadcast, which is pretty cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's dope. Cool. Well, thanks so much. I sorry to keep Urs waiting. I think let's go ahead and switch over. But this has been really awesome. I think if anyone has any questions, of course, they can follow up with you in the Discord. Should follow you on Twitter as well. The one below, GrandyB93 is your Twitter, so be sure to follow there. But Urs, thank you so much for patiently waiting.
Been looking forward to this.
Yeah, let's dive into it. I think these are interestingly enough very complementary tools to where scoreboard is something that we can't quite control with the Google sheet yet. But let's jump into it. Switch back to my desktop here. And let's find Clipmaster. All right, where do I start? Do we lose Urs?
He's not muted this time.
Beam, beam, beam. Urs, are you there? We lost Urs.
We did.
Okay, cool. Well, let's go ahead and we can start to go work through the download, because I know there's some things that I got to do here.
Hi.
Yeah. Oh, hey, what's up?
Walked back into the room and I saw Clipmaster on the screen.
Oh, you're good.
Oh God.
He's hacking my PC. Yeah, I think so. So I should be able to just hands off this this thing, right?
Yep, cracking into your RDP here.
Yeah, you're in the mainframe, right? My favorite thing is hacking in any movie. Or there's this great master cut of all the movies, or maybe in like the 80s to 2000, where like every hacker, once they're in, they're like, I'm in the mainframe. I'm in the mainframe. Exactly. Because once you're in the mainframe, you have access to everything. Awesome. So Urs, thanks for chilling. Let's go ahead and get started with Clipmaster.
So for demo purposes, I think it would be easiest if you had a video running in the background that you're using like a window capture for.
Sure.
Just to kind of pretend you're doing a live broadcast. So I can actually, if you want, I can send you an old link of mine.
Sure. I was going to do that, or I was going to say that I do have the soft okay. Wait, did they already finish? Nerd Street's done. That was quick. Anyways, yeah, okay. Whatever works, because I can pull from this video as well.
It's fine with me. I can give you a hard okay for my 7-year-old broadcasts.
Yeah, no, this should be okay.
Okay.
So, and because it's also kind of relevant for now. Let's see here. So here's how I can actually do it. I'm going to create a scene where I have a web source. Let's see here. This will be Twitch. Let's go to... Oh, I'm going to actually go ahead and delete this API key as well.
Good idea. Yep.
Where do I go here? So disable API, right? That should be good enough?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I do need to enable. I want to keep this enabled actually, but I just want to delete that particular key.
Yeah. Should be able to go into the project and credentials. Yeah. Yeah, you can delete it on the right hand side there. Yep.
All right, cool. Sorry for that. Let's see here. Where is that? Did I close out of it? I think I did. Just going to pull this URL here. I'm going to add this into OBS.
Though, maybe if you add it with a timestamp, because it looks like there's going to be a 30-minute wait screen there.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna zoom it along here. We'll throw it somewhere in the beginning. Yes, I'm just.
I didn't actually know you could interact with the
okay.
browser scene like
There
that.
you go.
So useful.
I taught her something. Yay. Okay, so we'll leave this going. Did Nary open up? Oh, it's dope. All right, cool. So we'll leave that going. And in fact, what I'll start to do as well is let me configure the audio, and I can route some of this. Is there, wait, I thought, where is, when I have this browser audio, I thought it should be showing up here, unhide all. Maybe it's outputting to this. Ah,
Control
there we go.
OBS.
Okay, whew. There we go. All right. We'll route the audio to y'all. I think the stream, okay, let's see.
I think you were looking for the control audio via OBS checkbox in that,
Right.
which adds it as an extra bar. Otherwise, it goes to desktop, as you just found.
Yeah, I'm routing the audio to y'all too. Yeah, I think let's do this monitor and output so that we can hear it. Oh, interesting. Sorry, actually, can you say that again, Grandy? Were you saying?
Yeah, if you went into the properties of the source, there is a control audio via OBS option in the properties of that source. There's a checkbox in the middle there. There you go. So I'll add an extra.
Right. Okay, cool. And then I just got to make sure that my output. This is not normally how you would set it up, but I'm doing this now so that we can hear this. Hopefully it doesn't blast our eardrums. All right, we'll just work with the interact here. We'll get this back to full screen. Oh, there's more ads. That's why. That's why that happened. Okay, so I have my monitoring output to audio monitoring device. That's the one that I want. Oh, I don't have it plugged in. That's why. I don't have it plugged in. I have it plugged into a different device. All right, so we're going to mute this for now. Alrighty. Still not quick. Did I plug in the right spot? All right. Well, we have the video at least, and I think we can get working with this. And in between, I will try to troubleshoot it as well. All right. Cool. So we have our video now, and maybe I can go back to Clipmaster and get some stuff downloaded.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, the top level view of how Clipmaster works is that OBS has a feature called the replay buffer, and this saves the last. it's sort of like NVIDIA Shadow Play, where it keeps the last a certain number of seconds of footage in memory, and then if you hit the button to dump the replay buffer, it will save that footage to your disk as a replay file. So basically a big play happens or headshot or whatever, you hit the button, you get a nice little 15-second clip. OBS produces that for you, and what Clipmaster does is monitor the OBS recording directory, and whenever it sees
there we go, got audio now.
whenever it sees a file that begins with replay, it will collect that into Clipmaster's own library, which lets you manipulate it later on and eventually play it back within OBS as part of a replay or a clip montage or, you know, whatever. So in addition to downloading Clipmaster, yeah, if you want, you can, yeah, that works. I maybe set it to like 8 seconds just for demonstration purposes. Sure. And so, yeah, so make sure and enable replay buffer and then go into advanced, and this should already be set because this is if it's a brand new OBS install. But basically, two things you want to make sure is one, that the replay buffer file name prefix is replay, and then also that file name formatting has some, you know, strings like that, like
sure.
timestamp. But that is the OBS default. So as long as you haven't changed that, then you should be good to go. And then you can also, if you want, set a hotkey for save replay buffer.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, right there.
Do this. That works.
Okay, so now on the Clipmaster side, if you have that downloaded, you can just extract that to wherever.
Yep, we are extracted.
All right, so the first thing you need to do is go into settings and set your replay monitoring path.
Should I should launch this now, right?
Oh, yeah, you can just launch it.
Cool. More info, run anyway. We trust hers, even though you have a scary hacker man profile picture. Okay.
Oh, yeah, and I really appreciate the banking credentials that are coming in now, so thank you for that.
No problem. Enjoy.
Yeah, so you go in,
don't spend all at once.
Settings.
Or it's easier to find. Okay, sorry, go
ahead. And then on the left there's a button that says add.
Okay.
And you can actually, for people who have more advanced setups, you can add multiple replay monitoring paths if like you're getting some remote from a different computer or whatever. But you should set this to wherever OBS is set to record the files, which I believe is the downloads directory.
Let's see here. Output would be it. Yeah, it'll be everything is just the downloads for today, for demonstration purposes. We'll go back here. This should be me here. Downloads. Okay, cool.
All right, and then now on the OBS side, you can start the replay buffer, which is in the bottom right, along with your normal recording buttons.
Got it.
And replay buffer is on.
All right, there we go.
So if you click the settings button to close it, so you can see the library. If you press your replay buffer hotkey, you should see the clip show up in Clipmaster. Yeah, there you go.
Pog! That's crazy! All right, let's go a little further in. Properties? Wait, interact. Ah! Let's get into some gameplay. All right, also our quality is poo-poo. Give me the good stuff. Oh, because my canvas is also 30 FPS. I'm also streaming at 30 FPS right now too, so I'll just leave it here because it won't get any better. It looks a little worse than 30. Anyways, we have that.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Interact. I thought that was going to be gameplay. Here we go. Big gameplay incoming.
Oh, yeah, look at him shoot that box.
Look at him. Do y'all play Valorant?
Nope.
Yeah, they used to a little bit. Not for a while.
Cool. So I got some more clips. We're watching some other stuff. So here's an interesting thing is because we do have the OBS Ninja source from Grandy. Can we pull that in as well?
What do you mean?
Like in terms of the replay monitoring path, can we throw in a web source that's or would it have to be that something else has to
So
download. Good.
Yeah, as Clipmaster is set up now, it has kind of a specific methodology for checking for files.
Okay.
Which is one that the file has to have a new file name. So I think in the case of like SheetsIO, every time it downloads the file, it just overwrites the same one.
Yeah.
But this is something I hope to. I would like to make it a little more robust so it can pull in videos from more sources in the future. But currently, it's set up for a pretty like specifically to be used with the OBS replay buffer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. I mean, that would have been like a bonus. So during that time, I took another replay. So now we have 3 replays to choose from. We'll even do una mas. We'll have 4.
Yep.
Cool.
So you can click on one of those replays and it'll do its thing. So now you want to play it back in OBS, which I guess typically you would create just like a replay scene.
Yep. And then we're going to point to...
Clipmaster does when it outputs its files, it outputs the process files to a static file path. So it's similar to SheetsIO in that way, in that it'll make file at output/output.mp4, and you just add that in as a media source within OBS.
Right. So now, I have these replays that were saved from OBS themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it
would be in the Clipmaster folder, the same folder as the executable.
Gotcha. Okay, so these are saved here.
So those are clips that have been captured,
Mm-hmm.
and then the output file folder is where your files are going to be for OBS to play back.
Okay. All right, so now I'm going to add a... Okay, so this is actually interesting, and I don't know the right answer to this, because when you have VLC installed, which I don't on this computer, I guess, it has like VLC source versus media source. Do you guys have a preference for that?
I've been using media source, but I think Grandy mentioned this a few times earlier. OBS's video handling is very inconsistent.
It'd be interesting to actually have a chat with you about that.
And then here,
I've done before, but
I would let's see, uncheck loop, and then check close file when inactive, and that should be good. And then you can set that to. Let's see, if you scroll up, did you set it to the file?
Yeah, so set to the, yep. So Clipmaster output.mkv. I probably should talk through what I'm doing when I'm navigating.
No, I was looking at my other monitor for a moment.
Oh, no problem. I wonder if there's a way to hotkey speeds. That'd be really cool. Because that's one thing that... Were you building in this functionality here? Slow? Yeah, I guess you have it as slow. So you could play something slowly. That's how it works. I might be jumping ahead here. But anyways, I'll set it to that file path. And since looks like my video output... Oh, yeah, okay. Look at that. Yeah, my output is in scaled resolution, which is fine. It might be the reality of it. And
I mean, you can just restart if you stop the replay buffer, you can change it.
Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this, fit to screen. Yeah, the purpose being because I remember early on when I was doing one PC setup, like very often I'd be outputting like at a resolution that's lower than my canvas, because I like to work in a 1080p canvas. I don't know if there's like people who feel strongly about that versus not. But cool. Yeah, so now this is cool on OBS that they have this. They didn't used to have these media controls actually here.
Yeah, those are very recent. I think it was around the end of last year that those got added.
Interesting. So you can pause and play. It's kind of cool. But anyways, yeah, we got that output there.
And because close file when inactive is set, if you switch back to your scene, named scene, and then switch back to replay, the video will start playing automatically from the start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so say we're in this broadcast view, it'd be like, no, Hiko, he's clutched us before. Live gameplay, we love to switch let's remember what he did previously, blah, blah, blah. And we'll go back to the live scene. Yeah, okay, cool. Look at that. Very smooth.
So in addition to simply replaying back an unmodified clip, Clipmaster offers a number of features that let you change it in different ways. Okay. Like you mentioned before, slow motion is one. So if you click actually first, I think if you go into settings, maybe switch the encoder to NVENC. That might be. I don't know what kind of hardware you're running, but the X264 might have performance implications. But if you go back to clips, the clips tab rather,
Okay.
in the top left, or yeah, and then the buttons in the output.
Did that save, by the way? Oh, it did. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it saves automatically.
Cool.
The settings. So the buttons in the output panel, say like track, slow, mute, music. Anytime you click those, that will add something that's going to change about the clip. So slow motion, all you have to do, you click the slow button, and that turns the slow motion feature on. If you click the mute feature, that will mute the audio in the clip, and then the music feature lets you choose an external MP3 or whatever, and it will replace the audio back with that music file.
Cool.
So now if you click any of the clips, it should...
Yeah, so I clicked this most recent one I just made, and I hit slow. So now we're going to switch to replay scene. Oh, interesting. So it like finished up the previous one. Maybe. Or maybe it was on the go around. Because that's definitely slow now. Oh, interesting. It like starts faster than goes slow?
No, it's the same
Oh, no,
speed
it's the
all the
same
way through, I
speed.
think.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh, I had to hit okay, right? No?
No, it should... Oh, there we go. Okay, now it should...
Oh. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so it'll turn orange when it's using the encoding engine. So now it should be slow motion.
Yep,
Yeah,
there's
there
a
you go.
slow-mo.
Nice.
Yep, 30 FPS halved down to 15 FPS.
Yeah. So I have to click the file again. Okay, so the order is you go slow, and then you click the file. So let's do this. Wait.
So whichever modifications are enabled when you click the clip will be applied.
I see.
And this might be a good time to switch to multi-clip mode, because I think that's a little more intuitive. Honestly, I'm probably going to remove the single clip mode because I think I don't know what's the point. But now when you click the clips in the library, it will add these to the timeline in the bottom. So you can click 2 or 3 of them.
Now, if I want to make one of them slow, would I click slow and then add it here?
So
Like
currently you can only, it will apply the modifications to older clips. You can't
okay, got it.
change them individually.
No problem. All right, cool. So we got three here. And so let's try the music. Interesting. Okay, so would I have to set the music to something prior to this?
Yes. Do you have an audio file you'd be able to point to?
Let's download one. Let's see here. Granny, I'm gonna show your screen briefly.
Sure.
Or just this scene. Wait. Oh no. Oh, wait, I think you already shut it off. Okay, that's fine. Let me just do this. Shut this
I'll
off.
put it back up. Don't worry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I just want to sign into this.
You're mentioning the speed controls. There's an interesting plugin called Replay Source, which allows you to do that with OBS. So dynamically control like rewinding and fast forwarding within a clip or a media source. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I would definitely want to see how that UI goes. How that UI looks. Okay, let's see here. So downloads. Let me show it now. All right, cool. So I got some Monster Cat music that I downloaded. Let's see here. So I'm going to go back to Clipmaster.
And then what you're going to do is click in the bottom left next to where it says output 1. There's a little pencil icon.
Yep.
And that is where the output specific... Oh, no, they aren't showing up. All right, try hitting process.
Okay.
So normally there will be some... then toggling it, maybe. Like clicking the pencil button again.
So this just showed up. That it's 41 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, so if you go into settings, this is a bug.
No problem.
Go into general, and then uncheck show output preview.
Ah,
So I've had
okay.
this happen a couple times.
Okay.
And then go back, and then you can click the pencil icon twice to try to open it back up again. Maybe relaunch Clipmaster.
Yeah, no problem.
It wouldn't be live demo without bugs.
Exactly. Okay.
There we go. Yeah, so these are the output specific settings. So one thing Clipmaster is able to do is set up multiple different output channels. So for instance, you could have one with all the settings set up specifically for a slow motion replay, and another one set up to combine clips into a clip montage, rather than toggling the settings during production.
Nice.
So yeah, then the music file in the bottom left there, and you can just set it to your MP3 file.
Did this not extract? Oh wow, it's enough. Can it do that? Flack? We'll find
Probably.
out. All right, let's see here. Cool. So we threw in the flack. So actually, does it have to slow down, or it's because I don't have slow that this won't affect it?
It won't affect it. It's only when slow is enabled.
And playback scene. Let's do 50%. Let's do 40 because it's probably going to be really loud.
And then you click the pencil to close the settings menu.
Okay, cool. And
then you'll have to add some clips to make a new one.
I see.
A new output.
Okay. So this would be the name of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, so you can change that. If you changed it to replay.
Sure. Now I uncheck this.
Yep.
And I'm gonna add some scenes.
Though you'll have to now update the media source in OBS because Clipmaster actually uses the name of the output as the file name.
I see. No problem. So let's go ahead and hit. Oh, what did we have before? It was just output, right?
Yeah, you just type output space 1.
Okay. Cool. So we had those selected. We had the music added in. We're processing. We're saving. And so there's a live view.
So it might have still made a new file because
yeah. Let's double check. Oh yeah. It was just output 4.
I think because the output was lowercase, so it treated it as a new name.
Cool. So we have our. There you go. We got the wipes. See that transition?
That's cool.
And the music, I don't have monitoring. Let's see here. Oh, I have this muted.
So they're in very good company. Taking a look at that lower graph.
So by default, Clipmaster will mix the audio or the music file with the source audio. But if you enable the mute option, then it will only play the music.
Oh, interesting.
Nice.
This is dope, though.
It's
making me.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Esports. I love esports. So what we just did was we just mixed a. This has all the energy of a. Send it to break. So we just made a send it to break montage. So let's actually go ahead and do that. Let's make the one where it's just the music. So now I'm gonna hit mute as well, right?
Yep.
And hit. Do I have to select the clips
again? You
again?
have to add the clips again.
Got it. Oh, okay. So this is kind of like my workspace here. What is that arrow?
So if you add a couple clips,
okay.
That arrow lets you reorder them.
Oh.
Because I was too lazy to implement drag and drop, so I just made little arrow buttons.
That makes sense. So now we have a full-on. You know what's interesting here? Let's actually.
And these guys, 400, these are still at the entrance pretty much of a nest. They haven't made it
We'll get a
past
big
across of the
we'll
orb,
wait for
and that's, again,
a big
just the
moment.
aggressive play from
Get a
these
kill.
two duelists for FaZe.
There's one. Get another. Oh! Okay, we'll just grab that.
Standing, and it's never a guarantee when
Okay, cool. So now we have this other clip, which will be, let's make it our second one. So I'm going to reorder that. And we're going to mute everything and process.
Now it's possible there's a bug here that will be fixed in the next build where this file will be the length of the audio file rather than the length of the video clips. And you can see the video output is 3 minutes and 18 seconds, which is much longer than the clips you put in, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But that bug will be fixed in the next build.
Got it.
It's
So
no biggie either.
we got our audio. Ooh, look at that. 8 seconds was the key. Dope. And so now what we could do potentially is
Stickle.
now we can make a new one here where it's
I do have a trade out coming in.
If you want to go into settings, you can actually add a second output here, so you can modify them separately.
okay.
And that's at the bottom, just a little number of output paths. And you just click the arrow and it adds more of them.
Oh, interesting. Oh. So because what might happen in a show is where I would say for me, if I was, seeing where these functions line up now, is to where it's like I want to make one for the montage, so I want to be able to have the music and a little bit of commentary as well. So I'm gonna unmute this for the montage, but then I might have, desk replay, to where it's muted, or no, yeah. Let's mute it and no music, right? And then maybe for this one here will be called like, replay one.
Live replay, right?
Yeah, or just like recent, or like one clip, something like this, where it's like maybe I just want to show one. Yeah, maybe, and we'll do one clip slow-mo. So then I guess I just have to click. Okay, so I can click on each of these separately then.
Yes, and whichever one is highlighted is the one that your clips will be sent to.
Got it. So let's build out. So we have some running here.
It's on the underside of tube because there's a wall currently.
Get at least one more kill
blocking
here.
Tube access.
Yeah.
So you can see what that does. It pulls all of their resources towards mid and B.
Do that. We'll get some movements.
Who's currently playing back A. To just play that high ground and pick them
There's
off.
a kill.
Now Ethan does catch Corey getting a little overzealous.
Ooh.
Not really a surprise. Ethan,
All right.
quick shots.
We'll grab that replay. Now we go into Clipmaster. These are the most two recent ones here. So we'll lead off with that kill. We'll get the one with Hiko. And let's get this guy here. So now we're going to mute it. Actually, no, I'm going to unmute it. And that'll be our montage for later. So while that's working, I guess I can't click here, which makes a ton of sense. Desk replay, I can do a bunch of them and have it muted. And it seemed to remember that I wanted that muted before. So that's cool. So I'm going to process that. And then this last one, I want to watch this one clip slow-mo. And I will mute it. Actually, no. Oh, does the audio... I wonder if the audio is going to stretch.
I think Slo-Mo will disable the audio by default.
Okay, got it. Cool. So I've created these 3 different scenes where I'll have different needs for replays. And it looks like I got different ones corresponding to that. So let's duplicate this. Let's do montage, which I think is the one we want right now already. Oh, okay. Let's do that.
Towards mid and B, and then they can just rely
So here's our montage.
Currently playing back A. just play that high ground and pick them off. Now, Ethan does catch Corey getting a little overzealous. Not really these
So you crossfade the audio automatically then between the clips? I
Yes.
hear it crossfading. Yeah.
Just to waste utility, it was canceling information. Couple of smokes run away along B. He also got the dart out early, but here comes the push towards B here. I'll talk.
I like how I know Monster Cat music is just gonna be something that'll work for a montage.
with a fatality.
Cool. All right, so now let's duplicate this. Let's make the slow-mo. And let's find that slow-mo. It is the 30 FPS that we talked about.
Yeah, this is a switch port of Valorant.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if you could run multiple replay buffers, because there might be certain things where it's like, all right, that was a play. I'm going to save a shorter buffer of that. Because that...
So there
Yeah.
is a feature built in the Clipmaster for that.
Oh,
If we go back to the Clipmaster interface,
yeah.
if you right click on one of those clips,
Yep.
it'll open the editor.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Trim it.
Oh, my God.
And if you just left click to put the start point, and then you find another left click again to make an end point.
It's sick. All right, cool. So I've trimmed it off that first part of the slow-mo.
Yeah, and then you can, if the you can just add it as part of a montage or whatever.
And now,
Or
and
do
now
a slow-mo.
I'm going to do one clip slow here. And then now, how do I add it?
Should be able to just left click on it. Yeah, then process.
The main feature of this clipping is the clipping capability.
Mm.
Yeah, my mind was blown. Fraudy, for sure. All right, cool. So looks like we're okay there. So we're going to go back to the slow-mo scene. Yeah! There it is.
Honestly, if there's one feature in Clipmaster that it's a miracle it works at all, it is the clip editor.
I mean, that's really dope. I'm able to see, the hover over, I'm able to see
Super
where
cool.
we are in the
Yeah.
video, which is awesome.
You can also move it frame by frame with the button next to the play button, and also move the cursor to the start point, and then
So I
And
can
then press
clear
play
it. So
to-
you would basically have to just restart it each time, right?
And this does not make any modifications to the source file, so you can always change it or remove the edit points later on. It only makes the changes as you're processing the output.
And that would be applied across all different outputs, I assume?
Yes.
So
Anywhere
if you
that
had
clip is
three of
used.
them. Yeah, cool.
Let's do half speed. Okay, and the music volume. See, this is really interesting too with the music volume. I think montage we had it at 40. Yeah. So you can kind of balance out based on with the audio that I'm bringing in. I can boost or lower the music relative to that, and then in addition, my volume here. So you could, you can get it to the right spot. You just have to do some pre-work on those levels. But that's super powerful. That's awesome. Okay, so now I changed it to 50% instead of the 30. I think that was a little too slow. And now we will add in that. Oh, interesting. Okay, so here's what we're gonna try to push this to the edge. So we got our slow-mo here. Now I'm gonna add in the Hiko clip, and I want to now edit it to here and there. And I have to, it seems to already be in there. Do I have to click it again?
No, you shouldn't have to.
Okay. Well, let's just add a third just in case, because I want to see how this works. So I click on this one. It adds in. I'm going to right click it and add in this scene at the end here. And that should have the timestamp. I mean, basically the in and out points I just set.
Yes.
All right, cool. Now I'm going to process.
Basically everything gets checked at the point you hit the process button.
I see. Okay, cool. Now let's go back to the show here. We're gonna see a slow-mo montage. 50% looks way better for this, especially because we're.
Also, the crossfades will be disabled in this video due to a bug that will be fixed.
Gotcha.
But currently there's an incompatibility when when you use the trim points in combination with the crossfade feature.
Oh, okay, interesting. Gotcha. This is crazy. This is awesome.
Yeah. So Clipmaster is actually built uses FFmpeg for modifying all the files. And if you've ever used FFmpeg to do anything like remotely complicated, like the different filters interact with each other in weird ways that are not necessarily intuitive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never worked with it to that degree.
I mean, it's an incredible tool.
Yeah, I've only ever used it to change MP4 files into WebMs, but even that alone was a lot of Googling of what parameters were needed where and all kinds.
And set this here.
The possibilities with this is crazy though, because if you can imagine, I assume one ideal sort of two-person setup would be main machine has the live output coming in, either NDIing that out to a second machine that has Clipmaster on it, which then prepares everything, makes the clips, prepares the montages, and when they're ready, taps the shoulder of the other guy. Right, I've got this ready. NDIs it back into the main machine. Yeah, I can
You
see
can
that.
certainly
So
do
you
that.
actually have a replay op with that, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Still, I like this montage a lot. The let's see here. I changed it up. Just the ability to have like, you know, you're on the fly. I could even just see this as a one person show, right? You finish the match. Your casters are talking for a bit, and then I can get in here and be like, so now the one thing potentially is to be able to add in notes. But even then, I don't know, it's gonna be kind of tough. So these thumbnails are already pretty big, right? Or pretty dope.
So I'm considering adding a text-only mode that's sort of more in line with like the vMix replay interface that just has a bunch of file names, and that would add more room for like custom annotations and stuff. But what you can do, you can actually change the name of the clips in Clipmaster.
Oh, okay.
So if you go back in, click the number in the top left of the clip, any one of them.
Oh.
And you can actually set a custom name.
Oh, okay. Then that works.
Big
Yeah, that's
headshot
probably
or
it.
whatever.
IDK. This was the Hiko one. Hiko trade. And this one was the 2K headshot at spawn. Yeah. So you're saying actually instead of NDIing the replay back to the main PC, could use network share? For sure. Friday wants you to show something else. Go ahead.
Yeah. So on the topic of organizing clips, if you go back into settings, you can add more than one tab. So if you want to add a tab, it's in the categories. It's in the main window, or sorry, in the main settings window.
Okay.
Where it says categories, right there.
Okay, I'm blind. Okay, right here. Okay, I see.
Yeah, and then the add button at the bottom lets you add additional tabs. So if you wanted to say categorize them by, oh, this is from match 1, this is from match 2, or this is a clip I've used, so I'm going to move it into the next tab. It's just another way to keep stuff organized, especially if you're taking a large number of clips.
Yeah, I see. So then I've saved everything in match 1.
So now if you click on one of the clips, you can drag it up into the tab and move it to a different one. And this is really useful with the all and none buttons, because the all button actually will select all the clips that are in the tab. So like if you want to make a montage and you just want to use all the clips you had in a specific tab, you click that button and it just adds all of them to your output rather than having to click each one individually.
Nice. Does that also work as kind of like a clear function as well, I guess, for the none?
This is cool. Granny, what was your question again?
Like if you were to click all now, and then that would push it all into the montage. And if you click none, does that then wipe it, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Cool.
What is clear?
Clear will delete all the clips that are in
Got
that
it.
tab.
Got it. So now we have our we have 2 clips here. So here's one thing that's interesting. Could I add these here and then go back and add
Yes.
them too? Oh, look at that. Look at that.
You can also, in settings, set specific tabs to send to specific output panels. So if, let's say, you want tab 2 to always go to output 2, you can set that up.
Output 1 or 2. Interesting. Oh, you mean to here? Like these? 1, 2, and 3? These are outputs, right?
Yes.
So 100T frags might always go to, let's say this is like match 2 or something. It's always going to output here.
Yes.
Interesting. So if I'm in here while I have this scene, I mean, this obviously gets easier once we have multi displays.
You can also close the editor just to get more space back. If you click the editor button next to settings,
Cool.
I'll close it.
Otherwise, you just right click to bring that out. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. So I just had another clip here. Okay. And then when I click on it, it automatically gets added here.
Yes.
I can find the point when I finally cut in. We set that and we are good to go for that replay. We can add in these 2 as well. Right click on that. Oh, interesting. It actually saved the in and out that I set for the clip previously.
Yeah, those are persistent.
Oh shit.
Yeah, pretty much everything in Clipmaster gets saved automatically. So for instance, if you close Clipmaster, then open it back up, like all your output settings are saved, your music, mute, all of that.
Got it. This is cool.
Nice.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think the music I probably would still have as a like something persistent. Like ideally you're running music just through your mixer anyways that you have, but I mean for somebody with a really simple setup, like say you just have a USB mic that you're listening to everything through, or just like one audio source, then having it integrated into the video definitely is pretty cool.
And on the topic of audio, one of the features Clipmaster has is the ability to select an audio track. So if, for example, in the OBS audio mixer, you have, say, track 1 is your combined caster plus game audio, you can set up a second track that is only game audio. So if you wanted to have game audio but without casters, Clipmaster lets you do that very easily in your replays. And that would be if you...
That'd be an MKV then, right? We'd have to have the... We'd have to have the...
No, MP4s
you have multiple tracks
allow
there
multiple
too?
audio tracks.
Oh, okay. So you mean enabling this, using this kind of...
Yes. Yeah, so you need multiple... In our case, it won't work because we're just watching a Twitch video, but if you had like separate audio sources, one for caster, one for your game.
Yeah, because I could totally see to where for some cases I want to have the casters in there versus not.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what the track button does in the next to output buttons.
Interesting. Oh, okay. Ah. So it would be like, this is all the tracks, right? With this?
No, that'll just be track 1.
Oh, okay. Oh,
which
I
is
see.
the
I see.
the default.
It'll be default, and then maybe your track 2 is just game audio.
Your clean game audio.
Sure. I see. All right, there's a question in chat. Wait, that means you can only save clips to a specific output from the same tab. It sounds like from... Well, okay, so we had set this tab to output here, but if I select montage and select these, then it'll override it, it looks like. Like if I'm specifically have one of these selected, right?
Yeah.
Versus...
Yeah, the output selecting is a little weird in this build because I changed some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally fine with just like selecting the output I want and then adding these in. I love how
don't
the
know.
in and outs are persistent, by the way. I think that's a really, really clutch
Yeah.
feature.
Yeah, I actually I think my favorite of the crossfade features or crossfade list of crossfades is pixelize, which I think is in the bottom of the list. Oh no, it's right in the middle. I kind of like the pixelize feature. I don't know. I think some people might find it a little gaudy, maybe, but I
Let's
think
see
that's
it.
why I like it.
We got the desk replay. Oops. I guess we just saved it. Desk replay. Let me make sure I'm pointing to the right thing.
Wait, was it desk replay?
Yeah, you need to tick the close file when inactive on it.
Ah.
Oh.
Oh, I see.
Oops. Whoa. I didn't know there's a grid mode. I never tried to use that.
On
Okay.
the source. Yep.
Yeah, true. Okay, properties, close. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Otherwise, I won't update, right?
Yeah. Oh, also, well, I guess the crossfades won't play because the clips have
They have
trim
the
points
slow
on them.
right? Oh, then they have the trim. Right. Okay, so it can do
Slow is
transitions with
fine.
slow. It just is with the trim points.
Yes, it's only the trim points.
Got it.
And yeah, I'm gonna try to fix that by the next build, which maybe will be out this week.
So clear that. We'll actually deselect this. We'll clear. Boom, boom. Let's add in one more.
Oh, I think you have to right-click them to load them in the editor. Because I don't think the trim points got cleared on the other.
Yeah, I think makes sense. Okay, so
If you click on the name, it'll get rid of them.
there we go. And then we'll
And then
right-click it. Clear.
Yeah.
Right-click, clear.
Yeah, and you can tell if it has trim points because the duration will be purple.
Oh, I see. Right-click and clear. All right, so we'll add in these two, which we know. Oops. 1, 2, 3. We'll add in the slow. We will have, pixelize for the desk replay.
Towards mid.
Let's have the same start. Yeah, it did. I forgot we're slowed here too. So it might take a little while. Dude, these people's aims are... Their aim is so good. Ooh.
Mm.
So are there plugins that you're using for this transitions or...
So all of that is actually built into FFmpeg.
Okay.
It has a built-in crossfade feature, and you can just select from a list.
Nice. That's dope.
That's handy.
I mean, obviously super powerful. The pixelize is crazy. Nice effect. Yeah, I kind of like it too, actually. I don't know if I'll always use it.
Yeah, I feel like most people will probably just use the normal fade, or maybe like the flash white is
Whites
kind
are
of a
not
nice
bad.
effect.
Yeah. Oh, this is just a straight up crossfade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it works well with Valorant. Yeah, it does because of when they change perspectives, they do have the bit of the CCTV already. So it is within. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. That's probably why it looks especially fine in Valorant. This is dope.
So,
I mean, obviously a lot of features here. Go ahead.
So I think now we could probably turn on WebSocket because I think that's kind of the last piece that makes this into a really easy workflow. So what this does is it will send commands to OBS to automatically switch to your replay scene and then back to the previous scene based on the duration of the output file you created. So if you create a 28-second replay, it will switch the scene, wait 28 seconds, and then switch back automatically without you having to do it manually.
Got it.
So in OBS settings, I think you probably, or where is it? No, it's under tools at the top. Not in the settings menu, in the
Okay, so we got
and you
that.
have to set a password to... Did you already put a password in?
Nope.
Uh-huh.
I want to set that then. Yeah.
Let's see here.
Something you'll
Yeah, just overwrite the dots there where it says password, because for some reason it's pre-filled with something.
Okay. So I have something
Okay,
there. Do I
hit OK. And then put that same password into Clipmaster. And everybody on the stream now connect to his OBS instance.
There we go.
Okay, now you have a new button that says Auto in Clipmaster.
Okay.
Next to the outputs.
Ooh, look at that. Okay.
And then if you go back to your clip library and make a new montage.
All right, so montage.
Also in OBS, switch back to your main scene. Yeah.
This kid's excited. All right. So remain scene on. All right, cool. So, can we do the trims with this as well?
Yes, this will work with trims.
We want pixelize though, so we're gonna leave it.
Everybody wants pixelize.
Let's add in that as well. Oops, that. Oh, interesting. I think it's automatically.
Yeah, and then if you go back to the option or the output options there that you just closed, the pencil icon where you set the music track and stuff, there's an option called Playback Scene.
Okay.
And that actually tells Clipmaster which scene to activate when you use WebSocket. So you set this to, I guess, montage.
Yep.
Then I also recommend disabling music because it's a little broken.
Okay.
Now you can hit process. And you can close the close options menu. And when this is done processing, you'll get a new button that says play on it. Oh, well, you need to enable auto first. Yeah.
Oh, and then I need to do it again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the auto means like, hey, I want to do the auto switching.
Exactly. It enables the automatic scene switching feature. And now you have a play button there that's blue.
Towards mid and B, and then they can just
Ooh.
back A. Just play that high ground and pick them
And you
off.
got a nice little countdown timer there.
A little overzealous, not really.
These two duelists for face.
Got the pixelize.
A couple of fights just to waste utility. It was canceling information. A couple of smokes one way along B. They also got the dart out early, but here comes the push towards B here. I'll talk about it later.
I forget if I actually made a good clip or not here.
I think he gets killed here. Oh.
And we're back. It's dope.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's really slick. So I could play it again. Or oh, it just runs them one time.
Yeah, it just runs one time.
Okay, that's but we want to do it again. Did I have these? Okay, I didn't. All right, process. We go again. This is powerful with transition override matrix plugin on OPS. So everything is automated. You don't have to go to select which transition you want to use. I see. So when it goes back into the scene, you can have a transition override into it.
A couple of fights just to waste utility. It was canceling information. A couple of smokes one way along B.
Yeah, I think transition matrix also can detect when a media source is done playing and do that automatically. So it's sort of it's similar to this feature if you wanted to do it on the OBS side instead.
Yeah, this countdown's clutch though.
And then at any time you can also hit the abort button and it will just go back to the scene immediately.
To the scene you want to end up on, you mean?
Yes, it'll end it early in case you end it early for some reason.
Oh, like let's say they're actually like getting into play, right? There's
like oh, whoops, I accidentally
starting.
queued up an 8-minute montage in the middle of the game. Yeah,
Got it.
Stop that.
Nice. Cool. That's dope, dude. That's dope. I will certainly be using more Clipmaster now that we've done this walkthrough. Urs, how can people help out? What are some next goals, and yeah, how can people support / help?
Well, if you want to help out, you can, if you go back to Clipmaster and go into settings, there's an About tab there, and that will have as my, in addition to having a link to the manual, there is a Twitter handle and email. You can reach out to me if you have any sort of feature requests, bug reports. I talked, as I mentioned earlier, if there's like some little thing that's stopping Clipmaster from like fitting well within your workflow, always looking for new features to add or like display options, that sort of thing. Feel free to reach out. Other than that, just use Clipmaster. Tell people about it.
Awesome.
Hopefully a year from now, everyone's going to be using Pixelize in their streams, and you'll know where it started.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's interesting how complementary your both these tools are, because I think with both of these, you're actually going to be able to do quite a dynamic show. One thing I do want to figure out around is, as I do still want to follow up on and making the tool, and integrating. What was it called? Node.cg. But I think there's something fun to the simplicity of SheetsIO once you have it up and running. So we'll see. I think in terms of animations and whatnot, I think that's definitely like having web, like JavaScript and CSS to do animations and have dynamic scenes will be pretty powerful. So some combination of these, if there's some way we can package them all up. I think that it'll be interesting to see if there's a way to make them all work seamlessly. But I think for now, like having these tools available will be, I'm excited to see what people do with them. Friday says, I think one main thing is that if we can do clipping on the same VOD twice, so we can select the entry point of slow-mo and regular speed part as if we would actually control when to slow-mo on the VOD. Yeah, I mean, that would be insanely next level, right? If you go in the editor and you have the scene, right?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the things I want to expand on is being able to,
like if you could mark
a little
slow-mo
more
point.
flexibility as far as clips in the library are concerned. One thing I'm definitely going to add is the ability to just drag in your own files. So, like, let's say you always want to start your montage. You have your own little 15-second thing you made in Premiere or whatever.
Yeah.
Adding that to the clip library so that you can kind of prepend it to the montage.
Yeah.
And then also the ability to change mods independently on the clips. Like if you want to have one slow motion or you want to have two different clip points on one clip. I think that's one of the main areas Clipmaster could really be improved is just overall flexibility. For doing things like that.
Yeah, because if let's say we're doing this clip and I set the in point here, but then right before we get to this, maybe the first kill's in full motion, and then right before the second one, I want to set in like, okay, slow-mo point here. You know what I mean? So it would be, so then you just have a certain place where the video then goes to slow-mo, and then I set my out.
Yeah, the end goal is basically Adobe Premiere with a WebSocket built in, essentially.
Yeah, that'd be insane. Oh, the one other thing too, I think the in point, I would probably associate the other icon. This is with the in, and that with the out. But I don't know if that's the same case for everybody.
I believe the ones used in Clipmaster are the standard.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Just looking at like screenshots of Avid Pro Tools and stuff.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, for some reason I just imagine it like
I've had another
off.
person mention that same thing to me too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe it just is wrong. Anyways, this is dope. I'm excited to see where this keeps going, and what I want to do is, now that we've done this, I'll probably slice up, take some clips, where we direct to both of your pages, whether it's the GitHub or the website that you have yours, and then have like the portion, maybe the highlighted portion of what we talked about here, to be like, if people wanted to see us, getting down and dirty with Clipmaster, this is what happens, and with SheetsIO, right? And then that way, because one thing that's always interesting is when people are asking about how to use certain tools, it's one thing to have like really good documentation, but it's another to have examples, and I think that's where I can definitely help out, is having hosted examples to both clips that we did on broadcast here, and showing certain functionality and features, but then maybe also when people have examples like what Katago has, to be able to link it to it directly, right, and host examples. So that's really where I want to fit in more, is to where we can direct people and just kind of show what are the get inspired. What are the things that you could do with these kind of tools? Yes, and I totally agree. Patreon associated pages, that's something that I'm gonna add on for BGG as well. Because I've gotten this question a lot, and people are like, "Oh, how do I, support it?" And I think I definitely want to push the people who are doing cool work like this to have a way for people to, say thank you in a monetary way as well. Are either of you thinking about that? Having like a PayPal donation page?
What he said.
The thing about the donations is, obviously, look, I understand wanting to show your support to tools you like, and I get that makes sense. But like, realistically speaking, the amount of donations you get for like tools like this, which are very specialized and also released for free, is pretty small. And then you have to manage like tax documentation and infrastructure for accepting donations, and that in and of itself is kind of a lot of work. So I definitely like, I every time someone offers to send me money, I appreciate it, but like, I don't know, I just like hearing people use the tool and like it.
For sure.
That's enough for me.
Yeah, just go ahead, Grandy.
If I wanted to make money, I wouldn't be making
Yeah.
a free to use, in my case, an open source broadcast tool. Like, I would be making something else that was.
We're deliberately making software targeting people who don't want to pay for software.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I had a lot of that same energy, and I do to a degree as well. I think so what I'm hearing is what I want to look into is how can it be easy for somebody to take income and be able to report it correctly. You know what I mean? Maybe a bit of maybe some guides are, if maybe it's a platform, looks like Ko-Fi might be something that can work. The reason why I know for myself I want to do it is because, say for this right now, right? Like, I'd feel way better if, or like basically everyone I bring on, everyone I have on the stream, I want to be able to link out to where they can be supported, and to where like the monetary side, like you shouldn't have to feel bad for that, because it's something I've wrestled with a lot too, to where it's like people aren't making money from esports broadcasting, so why, or like in general, there's a lot of people who are not, and monetizing from there doesn't make sense in my opinion. So now it's more about like, if there are ways to keep this going to where maybe you don't want to take money, but maybe if you want to pay someone to maintain these community packages, right, of like a SheetsIO, this is for Valorant, right, you can, because you're getting a certain amount of income, you can be like, hey, by the way, I have enough money to like pay you this amount to maintain it, or be like, hey, I'm gonna pay you this amount to help me understand like what game should be added next, right? Things like that. I mean, it's awesome that, and obviously the main motivation for why you built this is definitely, I can totally see why it's not monetary, but I definitely want to, one thing I want to do is just encourage people to keep it in mind at the very least, and then to know what options there are. And I think it is hard to know right now what options there are and what's worth the time, because if it's going to add on another 3 to 5 hours of your taxes for $50 of income, it's like, might not be worth it. Anyways, yeah, thanks to both of y'all for joining. I guess any final things you wanna talk about or shout out to as we wrap up here?
Well, I mean, thanks for inviting me on. It's fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Also, anyone who's watching, the Broadcast.gg Discord is a pretty fun place too if you're interested in people just talking about audio routing and all sorts of just like weird production stuff.
Appreciate it.
I'd mirror that. Like, Broadcast.gg has been an amazing place, not only to get feedback on this stuff, but just to get ideas for various things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely check that out.
I appreciate that. I think it's only as good as the people that are in there, and I admittedly have I'll be probably doing a mini vlog about this. I think I've done a lot of start and stop on BGG, and really trying to figure out what's its identity. What do I want that community to stand for and to help contribute to esports and to people's careers specifically. So, this stream, as well as I'm scheming with another friend. His name is Volamel. He does a lot of writing for Overwatch as well as Valorant, especially lately. And we've been watching a lot of Korean Valorant, and been like, oh my god, wait, this is like some of the teams are just absolutely insane. And there's some very big differences between like North America and with Western Valorant and not, right? To where his articles, for some reason in those formats, like people don't read as much, I think, or just not everyone likes to read articles. And to where it's like, okay, well, let's do something that will both, where we can do an exercise to help casters and observers anticipate more in the game, like help you read the minimap and increase your game knowledge, but at the same time, do it with somebody who I think should be, his content is really good. So same kind of thing here. Is like, I think these tools are really awesome, and I finally got to dive in and dig in to see how good they are, and where now hopefully we'll invite some more conversation around it, and in the Discord as well as just on the features to you directly, and to where it's like, all right, well, maybe there's people that want to help out or people that want to maintain things, or I think we keep coming back to this idea of I can totally see a standard version of SheetsIO to where somebody has a format for Valorant, and then it can somehow be maintained in a way where people can fork it, people can upvote certain ones so that you can see which ones are really popular. What is the main one that there is, like, maybe you make a little committee for these different games, or have even pros like contribute to, like, hey, based on this show that we did with Valorant, we needed this information, so this is what we added, right? And then it's like, okay, cool, we're gonna pull this into the main to the main thread. So a lot of really cool things will come of this, I think. Coolio. I'm reading the esports company's comment here. It's a great idea to have an option to give donations to the creators of these programs, because I think it's going to encourage them to keep going even further. Yeah, and it's like that's kind of where I'm thinking, is that, like, how do we get to where I can help encourage everyone to play the long game? And that's kind of what I talk to. I won't take too much more time on that. But yeah, I guess any shout outs / where should people follow you to find more or keep up to date on these projects / anything else you're working on?
Well, if you want to, the only places I really post currently on my Twitter feed, which is twitter.com/Urzo, URZO. And I obviously post updates on my website, but I don't have an RSS feed or anything currently, so there's no way to subscribe to that. So yeah, Twitter mainly for now, or in the BGG Discord. I usually post stuff.
Cool. And for everyone, that's the Twitter that's right to my left on the screen. Urzo, URZO. How about you, Grandy?
Yeah. Twitter, in fact, I've just realized that I haven't actually posted a tweet for the 0.7 update, but we'll have to go and do that. But yeah, Twitter or the Tools and Tech channel. I don't really post about SheetsIO much elsewhere other than DMs with random people. So yeah, ping me there, or the GitHub repo issues tab for anything. Would save me having to transfer whatever you tell me across. So yeah, that's it for me.
Awesome. Sounds awesome. Okay, cool. Thanks chat. Thanks everyone for staying around. Friday, I know you're here for the whole time, so appreciate you sticking around. Looking to see, we have a handful of folks here. Should give a host to somebody.